There we go. Mm. Wishing everyone, however you celebrate, a beautiful day. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Yeah. I'm just going to wait for everyone to come in. And let's see. And just checking. Oh, it says we're on Rumble, although I'm not quite seeing it yet. There we go. There we go. All right. Awesome. It worked. Do you know how long it's been since I've done a live? uh, I've had a beautiful morning, just connecting and sitting with self. And I just wanted to wish everyone a really magical day. I'm still in my pajamas. I haven't done my hair, and I don't care. You get me as real as it comes right now. So, on this day, this holiday, whether you're watching this live or you're watching this as a replay, I just want to jump on and talk about the light and talk about the return to the light, because today is the day we return to the light. What does that mean? I recently did a very profound trip down the coast and solo in my car. Just got in, started driving, and really took it one day at a time. And as I went through each day, I would look and see where should I go next. And I would literally open the map, zoom in, and go, as long as I'm going in the general direction of south to more light, because that's what I was craving. And I would find the most profound places. And so I've got a whole video to share with you around those pictures and what came through, and I will do that. We've just cleaned up the photos now. In other words, reorganized them and put them all into one file so that I could do a recording for that. So I will do that. Absolutely. Hi, Michael. Oh, it's so good to be here. Do you know though, it's so funny. It took me like, I don't know, probably half an hour to get everything set up because I hadn't done it for so long. And I was like, oh, yeah, I got to do this first and then this. And so I was laughing at myself because I've just been in this sort of womb space of just being and being me. And I mentioned before, as I pulled out of social media, there was this underlying subconscious program about missing out and you need to be on there, and I was like, "Oh, that's so fascinating. That's proof that I really need to take a break." We all need to take a break at some point and not be influenced by others and just listen to ourselves and really be with ourselves. And so as I did this trip down to more and more light, what I discovered was just some really profound synchronicities, and I'll share another video about that. But I just really want to share from the summer solstice all the way to the winter solstice. What happens is the sun is going further and further and further south. So it's dipping down. And actually, in the sky, in the astronomy, there's a constellation called the Southern Cross. So as the sun goes down, and then we hit that winter equinox, and all the crops are harvested. We celebrate that in October, or even earlier, however you celebrate. It's the harvesting of everything you planted in the spring to come up, and then everything kind of dies, right? It goes into a hibernation. The leaves fall off the tree, right? We have less light. We're meant to go more inward. This is part of this beautiful process about winter, and I'll share something else about the holiday season around that and shamans. But as that sun is dropping down and down and down, And then on December 21st, it rests. It stays there with the Southern Cross behind it. You could equate this to the story of Jesus 100%. So I find this really fascinating. Whatever you believe, it's okay. I love you still. It's okay. We all have different beliefs, and that's what's so beautiful about being here is honoring each other's beliefs and perspectives. That's the beauty of being here, in my opinion. And so as that sun does that from the 21st until today, it's resting. It sets. It doesn't move. So if you were going back in time, you can imagine the sun gives life. It is the life-giving source for all plants and for us. And we'll get a little more into that as we move along. So this is so profound. And then on December 25th, it starts moving south again. And we get more light as we build in. So how profound is that? That we can move along this way. And I really did nothing. I had to like kind of kick my ass out yesterday to go pick up my turkey because I don't have a big fridge. And I love cooking turkey, so I can have turkey soup. That's my and one turkey sandwich. That's my big beautiful desire is to always feed others, share, right? So I have a few guests coming tonight, and some of them backed out and had other plans, and great. Whoever's meant to be here will be here. And we tend to just have a beautiful meal and play some games. And as as we come into this day, it's actually sunny here today, which is beautiful. I know my daughter was wishing for snow, but that's okay. I'll take the sun. So I definitely want to get outside today and take in some of that sunlight. One of the most profound, so that's really important. That's really important, you guys. The sun is so important for us. And we had no, like, we knew that. I've always felt better in the sun my entire life. Anytime I wore a hat, it was like, take it off. Like it would irritate me. And then anytime I had sunglasses, I would lose them, I would break them. Like it's when I look back, I'm like, oh, this was like I was being led to this the entire time, taking the sun. Now, one doesn't want to take in too much, but please know there is a chemical reaction, especially in the blue light in the morning, and that's pre-dawn. I don't know, it's called civil twilight. I'm not huge of that name. I like pre-dawn. And that's when all the birds begin. And so on this entire trip, I was up with that sun. And this all was triggered by a fellow Jack Cruz, Kruse. I had a podcast downloaded and I didn't have cell service at one point. So I found a podcast and it was his that I listened to. And he explains exactly scientifically using optometrists information what happens in the eyes, but the optometrists aren't taught this. And so when you take that blue light in the morning into your eyes, it begins the chemical reaction in the entire body. And I've got much more to say about that because I've actually, and I even can link that to Egypt. So I had very profound things come through on that. The other thing I wanted to share was on Christmas itself. And so in the North, many years ago, there is shamans and everyone's living in tents and they don't spend their time alone. The family all comes together. The family lives together, young, old, like it is a communal event. And I do believe we will go back to more of that because there's so much wisdom in our elders. Like I just honor the knowledge that some of them have. I'm like, wow, it's profound. And even the little ones, right? The younger ones and the little ones have such a connection because they're almost in a similar space, that beginning and the ending of this vessel, so to speak, or the younger years and the elder years. And there's so much to be shared there and wonderment and beauty that can be shared. And so as we honor this, think about everyone being in tents and there's a fire and there's a hole in the top. So the shamans used to dry out mushrooms, and I'm gonna screw it up because I'm thinking about it too much. Mascara mushrooms, the red ones with the white spots. And they used to dry them out by the fire, hang them by the fire, sometimes in a sock. So it keeps going. The reindeer also ate those mushrooms. And so in the dead of winter, when there was no light in the north, the reindeer eating these would appear to be able to expand their consciousness and be able to fly. Profound. The shamans would go around and visit everyone to bring healing and support through these darkest days because there was no light at all. And he would come down the chimney because there was too much snow to come in the actual door. Ah, and so begins, and the red and white represents the mushroom. So one can go and find any truth they want based on their perspective. So just know that and keep that in mind. And so I just find this such a beautiful story that the shaman would come down the chimney and bring in gifts of wisdom and healing for the family within the or tribe within the tent for the winter and remind them the light is coming. It always comes back. And so no, and it's a good metaphor for life. So on this day, I really honor that story because it's so beautiful. And it's so profound because a shaman can go between the worlds, so to speak, and bring messages of hope and connect with the reindeer. And so you can see how these stories, you can look at it any way you choose. Hey, Cindy, good to see you. Sending you much love. Yeah. I'm just sending everyone love. And as I said at the beginning, I'm sitting here, I haven't done my hair or anything. I don't care. This is just me being me. And it's not that I wasn't me before. It's just every day is like a new version of yourself. Every night you go to sleep and then you awaken to a new day with the light. So the light is so very important. And as that sun is shining and I can hear a few birds singing, I'm so grateful today's sunny. Really got to get outside today. So, as that shaman story, that's one version of where the red and white comes from, or where somebody coming down the chimney or hanging your stockings. And so, there's many perspectives, and just honoring all those perspectives is just so profound. Yeah. So, it's just absolutely stunning and beautiful. And honoring, look to nature. If you're unsure in your life, and nature always nurtures, I've always said that, but it's even more profound now because, the more time I spent camping and near the fire and hiking and spending time with self and really paying attention to what was showing up in my field, so to speak, I was constantly being given messages. And I had a really even so I didn't know this when I decided to do this trip. It's actually called a spiritual spine journey because you're going down a mountain range. And I knew that I really wanted to connect with Mother Nature, and I figured, "Oh, sacred sites," because that's what I used to do was, you know, find these sacred sites and plant crystals there. Well, no. I ended up in mineral baths, and not just mineral baths, clothing optional mineral baths. And so that was a whole experience in itself, and my daughter was like, "You mean you're going naked in front of other people?" I'm like, "Yeah, who cares? Everyone's naked. Who cares?" Like it's such a freeing experience, and then to be able to get sun on your entire body. Oh, I can't tell you how good that is, especially for men, for women on the chest. Jack Cruz this, and if you want to check out any videos, just look up Jack Cruz on YouTube. Some people find him a little crass. I'm like, no, he's just frustrated that this has happened, that we have been led so far astray from the light. And so I can honor his perspective in the way he shares it. And I'll be sharing more about it as we go in. We don't need a new diet, people. Um, you don't need to be a carnivore or be a vegan. Like, there's so much misinformation and disinformation. What you really need is more light in your life. You're not craving coffee in the morning. You're craving blue light. And the more I did blue light, the less I didn't even have coffee. I was like, oh, that's so fascinating. So, and then taking in that sunlight and being out in the light and being in nature and being grounded. We are electromagnetic. And there's such a profound realization as you go through witnessing what happens for self when you do this. So, I just really wanted to share that. Hi, Jordan. Good to see you. Absolutely. And Tamara. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We're closing a 9 year, and that would be another important thing to remind everyone. In Chinese, it's Year of the Snake. That ends February 26th, February 18th. I think it's the 18th, somewhere in there. And Year of the Snake and the number 9 in numerology is all about endings. Let it go. What else can I let go of? What else can I release? Expectations of others. You can't have expectations of others. You will always be disappointed. Just be the best version of you can be, and really honor yourself and make choices for you. I know many on this day feel obligated to be with family and to perform, to keep a ritual going that the family or routine. Um, and maybe a family member is no longer there and it doesn't feel the same. It's okay to shift things up. It's okay to let go. I mean, I can only use myself as the example, but when my father passed away and I moved my mom down here, and it's been 13 years, I really felt responsible for my mother. I took that on. I did. And she played the role and was like, Tanya will do everything for me. Until I realized I'm not helping her at all. I'm enabling her. And so I slowly started to pull back. And as we still celebrate, I've managed to reduce the amount of consumerism by showing up that way, um, honor the consistency of some things. Like, I love turkey because I love turkey soup. That broth, I can tell you there's glycine in there. Yeah, I'll get to that in a minute. So that's something, there's so many lessons I've had. So I look forward to doing more videos to share those specifically. But as I stopped rescuing my mom and pulled back, I had a lot of guilt. I felt guilty. And she went into her own little depression, and she was depressed anyway. So she's coming out of it now. And it had to be on her terms, and I knew that. My mom is now willing to sell her place and check out somewhere south. We talked about somewhere down in Mexico for her, at least for half the year. And then she could live here the other half. I don't think I'm here much anyway, moving forward. I don't get that sense. Like, I have another maybe year and a half. And it'll be this balance and dance. So I didn't expect my mom to ever want to do that. I was really shocked because in Canada here, I'm in North Vancouver, it rains a lot. And the last 3 years, from January, February, March, April, May, and June, it's been a lot of rain. I used to start exterior painting season in March. I can't start it till June now. So, you can imagine what that does for income because that's a huge part of our sales, but it's depressing because it's gray and it's raining. It is not light. And so I said to my mom, even when we move to, say, the interior, you are still going to have this same cloud cover. You have to go north or Alberta to receive more sun, but then you get really cold weather. I think it's like minus 15 there right now. And that's not easy for my mom to manage. I'm like, I think we need to look at somewhere else. And so I've actually she said, I'm ready. I'm ready to sell my place and she's ready to get an RV and to do a drive. And so in a synchronistic way, at the same time, Jade has had this online relationship with this fellow in the UK for about a year, and they're very close. And I honored that, hey, if that's the way you want to have an experience, go ahead. And at the end of my trip, this is what I mean about the endings, guys. This is why I'm sharing this. End of my trip, she found out that what she was feeling was true, that he'd been lying to her, and not just one lie, but several lies. And it crushed her because that what she thought to be true was not true. But some of it was. So it's this balance. And seriously, she said to me yesterday, when are we going on this trip with grandma? So no longer, it was me suggesting it. And I'm like, I don't care if you come. You do you. You decide, Jade. And she's ready. And so we're going to get to go and do a similar trip, go further south, take some time while it's raining here. And my mom, myself, Jade, and my mom's little dog. And we'll see what happens with the cat. The cat's not going to want to come in the motorhome. So we'll have to have somewhere stay here. But I do have a friend that is free to do that. And wow, I was like, wow, that all played out really well. So I believe that we'll see what magic unfolds because it always does. But I think it'll be so healing for all of us in a really profound way. So as we step into more light and get back in harmony with nature, which is how I operate, especially on the road, it's challenging to do it here because it's very cloudy, very rainy, very cold. It's hard to step out. And I imagine those with snow, you got to put your hands on a tree, right? To do that grounding. And so, yeah, honoring nature, honoring change as we close this 9-year, shedding what no longer is needed, letting go of things that, why am I hanging on to this? Whether it's physically, energetically, emotionally, mentally, you have 7 causal bodies. So that's a whole nother video too. I don't want to be too long today. So I really just want to honor all of you as we close this year out and step into a 10, which is really a 1, because if you add it up, it doesn't equate anything. And as we go into this 1 year, it's a new beginning. Now, there's some really profound shifts in January, and that's January 26th. I think Neptune moves into Aries, and the planetaries, they're energies. And they're energies that may affect us in ways that we're not aware of or we are aware of. That's up to you. Same with the moon. I really honor the sun. I'm a Leo. I really honor the sun. I also have Cancer rising, which means, I really honor Earth and nurturing. And then I'm a Libra moon. I'm all about balancing the scales. And I do that in many ways. And for those of you in the know, let's finish the 1 year. So as we go into this 1 year, that first quarter, because that's not until February, as I said, I think 18th, that shifts in the Gregorian calendar. And yes, I'm aware there's other calendars. I'm just following the light at this point. What is the sun doing? What is it welcoming? What are we honoring? And as that shifts and we go into that 1, we get to have new beginnings. And I'm not sure who else has been feeling things really, 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 really speeding up, but things are happening quite fast. and can happen very fast. So be very conscientious about what you're speaking, because that's that's putting energy out in the field. Even what you're listening to, because that's a vibration too. Yeah. Hi, Donna. Good to see you. Yeah. Merry Christmas, love. That's putting things into the field. I'm just going to ground everyone in. And your attention and attention are the most valuable things you have. The most valuable. Where are you placing your energy? What are you willing to listen to, watch, and speak about? That's what we're stepping into is amazing possibilities. And I don't know about you guys, but when you are working with energy like I do, my hands literally vibrate. Like I can feel them right now. All the tips of my fingers, palms, thumb, just doing that, I can feel the energy coming off. And energy is not limited by the computer or space. And we'll get more into the quantum and the quantum 0 point, which is where you can actually go in and adjust and clear yourself. And so I'm a big believer in teaching, guiding everyone to become the best version of themselves by learning how to do this for self. I don't want to be the one that, oh, you need to come and see me every week. And we'll do this in groups because when one person speaks, everyone else learns. And I've got a whole course on Egypt and the light. You guys, everyone's, everyone believes, just remember that Egypt as a country is based on tourism. They will not release anything unless they need more tourism, and they choose how it's released and who releases it. So you see all these things coming out, and I'm like, yeah. I see right through the game, per se, of what they're trying to convey. Anything under the pyramid, they've known that for years, years and years and years. They choose to release it now because they need their economy boosted. So I will say this, what is mapped on Earth, everything on Earth comes from the body and nature. Your cells, your mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cells that powers your entire form. The pyramids are energy centers. So if we can look at all of Egypt or any of the sites around the world, it was a way of conveying information so that we didn't forget. And now I know Egypt is a map for the human body and what to do and the light. It's yeah. I'm just getting a yeah. It's profound. It's profound. So I really want to break that down into a step by step so it comes through really clearly. But I'm here to bring in the light, guys. Bring in the sun. Like honor that sun. Honor that sun to come into your eyes. For when it does, it activates everything in your body. It is the most healing thing you can do. And if you have a reaction to the sun, all it's doing is pulling out what needs to be released. So do it gently, do it slowly. Hospitals used to have hospital beds on the roof. People used to run around naked a lot more. Women didn't wear clothes. They may have worn a covering, but they were always getting sun on their chest, right? In those times. So, yeah. And there's a whole story about, yeah, that's a whole nother video. There is a whole story about how we became to be and how we've grown. And there's many stories, but take the one that resonates. Yeah. Yeah. And as I said, I'm sitting here, I just threw a sweater over my pajamas. I got my big fuzzy boots on, which are have holes in the bottom, but they're down booties because they're so comfortable. And I just wanted to come on and just be me and say, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Remember, you are love. And and love is not, it's, it is, people think it's an emotion, but it's really a state of being. And combine that with authenticity, and man, you can literally move mountains. And that's a whole nother conversation too, because the mountains were speaking to me on this entire trip. And I was just so honored to be able to connect with them. And yeah, connecting with nature in a really profound way, because once you put your attention intention into something, it can't help but respond. That's what nature is. So we look at animals even. They know. They're reading energy. And so I'm gonna close this out here. I do have a bird to get in the oven, get ready, and I'm so excited. And I'm not sure when I'll pop back on yet. I really would like to show you this spine journey I did. Remembering spirit means breath, and we're really here to be human. And it's important to be in this body and listen to your body because it's always communicating with you. Jade had heart palpitations for months, and they went away after the boy was gone. Her body was saying, something's not right, something's not right. And so she now knows it's not like, oh my God, I'm going to die, right? Because she had that fear. It's something's not right. And now I know what it was. Your body's always speaking to you. Yeah. And I'm just showing my perspective. So I honor all of yours, and I look forward to connecting in a Zoom so we can all chat because it's way more fun that way. And I look forward to really sharing in that setting and being more private about that so that we can go deeper. We can have really profound shifts in a collective, because when one or more gather, it's just a beautiful procedure. And I have so much more to share. Things just keep popping in, and I'm like, not right now. So I love you. I honor you. And I look forward to connecting soon. Yeah. Be the love that you are.